Hello, this is Jason and welcome to Introduction to Cloud Middleware Part 3. In this demo, I'm going to be walking you through how to enable in-app purchasing in a Windows Phone 7 app. As for prerequisites, I hope you've had a chance to review the documentation on linksterdeveloper.com and that you've also run the C#.NET Hello World and then the Windows Phone 7 Hello World. And the reason you should do the C#.NET one first is because it's the most basic app. It's a console app. And you should run that before moving on to Windows Phone 7 because as a mobile app, additional things are introduced. Alright, so this is what we're going to be doing in this demo. I will show you where to download the Windows Phone 7 in-app demo. And then we will log into Linkster Web Manager and I will show you a program I've already registered to the Internet Service Bus and I'll walk through the settings quickly. Next, we'll need to log into Cloud Middleware. It's an integration hub and we'll need to add one of the in-app purchasing services. Now, because we will be using the PayPal sandbox, we will first need to log into the developer sandbox account. If you were using a live account, that step would not be necessary, but because it's a sandbox account, an additional authentication step is required. Alright, so once we've done that, we'll create the Cloud Middleware service. I'll then integrate Linkster into the demo app that was downloaded, and we'll add the Cloud Middleware instance ID to the app, and then we're done. And I'll run the demo and show you it in action. Now, the Windows Phone 7 in-app purchasing demo, the sample app is, we've tried to make it as very basic as possible. You know, it's for you to use as an example and build off of and change and modify. But in this app, you're going to enter the product name, the price, and if you click Purchase Now, that will take you to an encrypted, mobile-friendly payment form where you can make the purchase. You can click Email Me an Invoice, and that will send you an invoice to the email address you entered above. Once the purchase is made through either means, the app will get a message if the purchase was successful. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. First, you would want to go to linksterdeveloper.com and click on Downloads. There's our SDK, there's Hello World, and go to the mobile in-app purchasing and download that. Alright, next you'll want to go to Linkster Web Manager and go ahead and log in. Now, I've already created an app just called AAA. That's the app I'll be using in the demo to try to keep this video short as possible. Nothing special in the settings at all. But one thing I will need is my program ID and my activity ID. So I'm going to copy those and put those in Notepad along with some other information. Oops. I've already recorded. And I've also already downloaded the databases for the different platforms for this program. Pretty much all the defaults are here for instances, messages. I did change to the outbound messaging to every 1 second for sending messages, and for message retrieval also set it to every second. Channels, nothing special done there, and I'm not using any of the advanced features for audit copies or for privileged instances. Alright, now that that's done, now before I can create my Cloud Middleware service, which we're going to do, I need to log into the developer account in the PayPal sandbox. Now, one of our partners was kind enough to let me use their sandbox account for this demo. So we will be logging into their account. Now again, if I was using a live account, wouldn't have to do this extra authentication step. Alright, so Cloud Middleware. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Alright, and I haven't added any integrations yet, so I'm going to add my first one. Here are the ones that are currently available. I'm going to select the PayPal one-time simple payment mobile friendly for my demo. I am adding it. Now, Cloud Middleware runs on the Microsoft Windows Azure Cloud, and that's for scalability and load balancing, and to make sure the service is available at all times. Alright, I've created the integration. There's some more information that is needed, so I'm going to go ahead and edit. Now first, I am using the sandbox account. I'm going to use US. I'll accept other currencies. I have to put in my test account ID, which is different than my developer ID. And again, this was I was allowed to use this. One of our partners sent it to me. Alright, now this is using the website Pro API. So it's using the PayPal's permissions API to log in. So I will need to first authenticate with this test account. Now again, this is the sandbox, so it is not as fast as authenticating in the live account. Now once it's finished its authentication, it's going to take me to a page where I grant access to the Cloud Middleware service to use my PayPal account, in this case a business partner of ours. Alright, so it's telling me exactly what I'm allowing the Cloud Middleware service to use, which is Express Checkout and to accept credit card and debit card payments. Going ahead and grant permission. And then I get to return to the Cloud Middleware Sandbox test service. And this is exactly where we had left off. Alright, so permission was granted. Alright, and none of my PayPal credentials are stored in Cloud Middleware, and that's because we're using the permissions API from PayPal for this. Alright, next I can change the description of the service if I want, and here are my Linkster communication details. I'm going to need my program integration ID, and that is the unique instance ID that I will be sending my messages to from my app. Now I need to authorize my program to use this service. I have control over what programs to use this. So I'm going to put in the program ID that I copied from Web Manager. And this is my AAA demo app. I'm going to go ahead and add it. Alright, now that program is now enabled to use this private service of mine. Alright, and that's actually it on the Cloud Middleware side. Alright, so the next step is to take all this and integrate it into the app, the demo app that I downloaded. Now I already have it open in Visual Studio 2010. I will be running it in the emulator. So this is the app as it would appear once you've downloaded it. First thing I need to do is go ahead and integrate Linkster. So under References, Add Reference, I'm going to go to where I've stored Linkster SDK and find the Windows Phone 7 DLL and add it. And I'm just making sure copy local is true. Excellent. Now I need to get the database in there. So this is where I had downloaded the sample app before, as well as the app databases. This is for Windows Phone 7. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Here is my solution. I'm going to drop it in there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh, and then I'm going to show all files. The database shows up. I'm going to include it in the project, and I need to set build action to resource. Alright, and that is done. Alright, now I need to add 2 IDs to the app. And in the demo controller CS, in fields, I have my program's activity ID and then the PayPal integration ID. So first, I'm going to put in my program's activity ID, and next the private integration ID for my service that only my program is allowed to use. Alright, and at that point I'm basically done. So just want to show, this is the message that we're going to send to the Cloud Middleware PayPal integration service. I'm going to change the company name to John Doe Inc. And the product and price are being captured from the screen, and whether or not I'm seeing an email or not is based on which button I press in the app. So let's actually just take a look at the screen one more time. So here I enter a product name, a price. I can do the purchase now, or I can send an email invoice if I have an email address in there. Alright, so let's make sure everything builds first. And the build succeeded, so we're going to run it in the emulator. Okay. Alright, again, it's a pretty basic app. It's really just a demo. So I'm going to purchase a product called QWERTY, and I think QWERTY should really be $2. Alright, and I want to go ahead and purchase it now. So if I'm purchasing now, I don't need an email address. Now this is working against the Cloud Middleware PayPal integration service. It's taking me to the encrypted one-time use mobile-friendly URL. And have the option to use a credit card or PayPal Express. And that's the name of the company I'd put in there. That's the name of the product or service, and that's the payment. I can choose multiple currencies, and I can fill this out. Now, since this is the emulator, I really don't feel like filling this out. So let's take a step back. I want to send an email invoice. Now, of course, I cannot do an email invoice without an email address to use. Alright, so let's just send myself an email invoice. Alright, and because I actually want to show you the purchase being made and this mobile app being aware that the purchase was completed, let's actually check email. Alright, there's my email invoice from John Doe Inc. This, the URL, it's a one-time use. It expires within 24 hours. Click on that. It is the same mobile form that you saw within the app. The company name we put in, the product or service, the amount, the currency, and we're going to use a test credit card that's provided by PayPal for use within their Sandbox account. So it's not a real credit card number. Alright, and that takes me to the terms or end user license agreement URL that was put in the message we sent, and I'm going to go ahead and make the purchase. Now again, we are working against the Sandbox account. It is not the live account. Alright, the purchase was successful. If it had not been, or if something was not incorrect, it would have told me there and I could have gone in and made the correction within the form. Alright, so let's go check on our mobile app. And it will get a message shortly that the purchase was successful. Now if I did the purchase now, that process would have been faster. Since this is an email invoice, there's an additional layer of connection. But there we go, the QWERTY was purchased for a price of $2. Okay, so that basically concludes the demo. I would like to just let you know that we are working hard to make Linkster and Cloud Middleware as painless as possible to use, but sometimes you might want to get up and running a little faster, which is why we've built a network of partners that can help you out. So if you go to cloudmiddleware.com and click on Need Help, that will take you to the Linkster Need Help section, and you can click on Partners, and this will show you a list of reliable technology partners that you can work with to enable in-app purchasing in your project. This concludes the demonstration, and I hope you found it useful. Thank you.